In 59 BC, Julius Caesar held the highest office in the Roman Republic. He was a sitting consul, but he was also politically vulnerable and drowning in debt. Under Roman law, a consul enjoyed total immunity from prosecution. The moment his one-year term expired, his rivals were waiting to drag him into court on a myriad of charges, guaranteeing his financial and political ruin. To see how far behind he was, we only have to look at his rival, Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus. Pompey had just returned from the east as the richest man in Rome, flush with plunder and foreign tribute. Caesar needed a way to stall his enemies and generate cash. He called in political favors to secure a 5-year governorship over the provinces of Cisalpine and Transalpine Gaul, giving him a legal staging ground to manufacture a war. He had no intention of quietly managing Roman borders. He was preparing a hostile takeover to save his own life. His excuse arrived a year later. The Helvetii, a confederation of Celtic tribes, began a mass migration westward, moving near Roman borders. Caesar labeled them a threat and used their movement as his justification for war. He caught up to the migrating tribe as they were crossing the Saône River. His legions launched a surprise attack, slaughtering the stragglers who hadn't yet reached the far bank. The Roman Senate had never authorized an offensive campaign. This was a private military expedition designed entirely to enrich a single governor. With that first strike, Caesar crossed the line from an indebted politician into the chief executive of a systematic wealth extraction machine. Over the next 8 years, Caesar directed a campaign of looting across the region that operated on a staggering scale. The most lucrative resource he extracted was human capital. His forces captured an estimated 1 million Gauls, selling them directly to slave traders. At a wholesale price of 100 sesterces per captive, that revenue stream brought in 100 million sesterces. Conquered tribes also paid a mandatory annual tribute, adding another 40 million sesterces to his books every year. To supplement this income, his soldiers systematically stripped Gallic shrines, settlements, and temples of their native precious metals. This chart tracking the price of gold in Rome shows exactly how much he stole. He brought back so much bullion that he actually flooded the market, plunging the value of gold by 25%. Caesar had weaponized military conquest into a brilliant economic strategy, turning 8 years of human suffering into a massive pool of personal capital. He didn't stockpile this plunder in a vault. He deployed it as venture capital to hack the Roman political machine. First, he expanded his military capacity, raising 4 extra legions himself. That cost 4 million sesterces annually. By utilizing the uniform cohort system and paying these men directly with his own plunder, he forged a highly disciplined force whose loyalty rested entirely with him, completely bypassing the Republic. With borders secure, he funneled foreign blood money back to Rome, secretly wiping out the debts of highly influential politicians to ensure their loyalty. He spent 36 million sesterces to buy the allegiance of Consul Paulus, and purchased a debt-ridden tribune named Curio to filibuster the Senate. To keep his public approval high while he operated in the shadows, he wrote and published his own official campaign accounts, spinning his brutal extraction as a heroic defense of Roman borders. From his camp in Gaul, Caesar was running a proxy state, using his immense wealth to purchase the Roman government piece by piece. By the year 50 BC, the Gallic Wars were effectively over. Caesar was now the richest man in the Roman world, backed by up to 50,000 loyal, combat-tested veterans. His political enemies realized too late what he had built. Terrified of his accumulated power, the Senate attempted to strip him of his command and recall him to Rome as a private citizen. But his investments held firm. His bought and paid-for politicians stalled the legal actions in the capital, while his privately funded legions stood ready at the borders of Italy. Refusing to surrender his assets or face trial, Caesar cited the defense of his personal dignity. In early 49 BC, he ordered his men forward and crossed the Rubicon. The Gallic Wars were the ultimate privatization of imperialism. They exposed a fatal flaw in the Roman Republic. If one man could extract enough wealth from the provinces, he could simply buy the empire.